Greetings, wise ones. This is Melissa of 8th House Wisdom, author, psychotherapist, astrologer, feminine energy, and stellar planning expert. I'm so excited to bring this video for my second New Year's celebration of the year. It's Lunar New Year 2023, and we are ushering in the year of the water rabbit with the new moon in Aquarius. If you would like to learn more about the start of the 2023 lunar cycle, the Lunar New Year, and more about qualities of the water rabbit, stay tuned for the rest of this video. Welcome, wise ones, to a new emotional and environmental container with the start of the 2023 Lunar New Year. That's brought to us by the new moon in Aquarius, which is kind of a movable feast like other holidays. The new moon in Aquarius can happen anywhere between the end of January, after January 20th, through the first 2 weeks of February. That all depends on how the previous Lunar New Year flowed. We had a calendar New Year on January 1st, which is tied to the sun and tracks the 365 days needed to make a complete revolution around our known solar system. The Lunar New Year is the completion of the 13 full moons that happen across the zodiac and complete, essentially, our emotional and environmental biorhythm for the year. These two events are staggered because our calendar year is not at all tied into a natural cycle. It's much more geopolitical and dates back to Pope Gregory and the Gregorian calendar. It was a decision. Whereas the lunar calendar is tied to the precision of the heavens and movements that have been going since before we were here and will continue after we're gone. This really helps to explain why you probably didn't feel renewed at January 1st. But rest assured that by January 23rd, after we complete any of the remaining energies that existed in our last calendar year, close out their cycles, we'll finally be experiencing what I consider the official start of 2023. The following 12 months or 13 months, based on a lunar new year, are going to give us plenty opportunity to decide what we want to do and how we want to change and grow. When you think about the moon, think about emotional gains you want to make, personal changes you'd like to implement, and environmental changes that support you in doing that. In particular, over the next 3 months, while all of the planets are direct, we're going to have a real opportunity to feel in to the tone of this year and explore what changes we want to make without being under the influence. The Aquarius New Moon takes place on January 21st at 3:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In addition to that happening, the following day, Sunday, at 5:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will have a meetup of Venus and Saturn in Aquarius. Venus is the goddess of love and money, our magnetic attraction factor. It's considered a benefic planet. It confers sweetness and beauty. And Saturn is the lord of karma, the structurer, the hard charger who follows the rules and makes you pay the toll. It's considered a malefic planet. So the combination of those two things ring potentially as bittersweet for Sunday. In addition to that happening on Sunday, we have Uranus, which is the ruling planet of Aquarius in modern times, turning direct after being in retrograde since August of 2022. This is why I am saying that I believe this time will be the official start of 2023, because the smoke will have cleared and the true energies of this year will finally be taking place. Now, to think about the Aquarius New Moon, I call the Aquarius New Moon the moon of innovation, because Aquarius archetype is the maverick. They like to break with convention after being in stoic Capricorn phase of life, where rules and structures helped us to create things. Aquarius comes through to be the disruptor and show us how we can innovate those structures and create even more. So, the theme for the next 30 days is going to be that of innovation, freedom, uniqueness, and expression. Starting a brand new lunar year is also a time to reset. Hopefully you've been following me on my self-care challenge that I did leading up to this new moon and Lunar New Year, because we wanted to make sure that we set aside the old energy from 2022 to step into this year and claim our blessings. This moon contains Martian energy or Mars energy. Mars added to an already revolutionary maverick planet can cause you to want to burn down the house. Maybe spew like a volcano, or the goddess Pele, who created the Hawaiian Islands with her eruptions after they cooled in the water and the air, the element that Aquarius brings. Mars represents energy and drive and fire, and so fire and air are a good mix, because we need internal fire to lift our words higher, to propel our actions forward, and to move in the direction of things that we want. Because Mars just recently went direct in the sign of Gemini, many of us may be a little wobbly at controlling our anger or our eruptions of power after such a significant inward journey. But just keep a mind on that so that you don't overwhelm yourself or someone else. This new moon can be the one that you use to set an intention around how you want to continue to discharge that pent-up Martian energy that will still probably be in effect until March, when Mars finally moves out of Gemini. You also, according to the Lunar Wisdom Formula, you really want to dig in and take a look at where Aquarius is in your birth chart, where your 11th house is in your birth chart, and as it relates to these Aquarian themes, what intentions do you have for yourself around being a disruptor, a revolutionary, an innovator, a tech genius, goddess, any of those things. The power of astrology to revolutionize our calendar is that it gives us context, so they're not just words and numbers and dates on a page. It gives us the energetic feel and tone of these times. When you know the energetic feel of January 20th to February 18th, it's easier to set an intention that aligns with that container and experience success if we layer things in that way, as opposed to just deciding these are the things that I want to accomplish this year, and I will at random pick times so that by the end of the year they're done. When we reconcile and align in this way, this is how the power of astrology and stellar planning help us to experience greater ease and grace in our lives. A few additional things that I wanted to talk about related to the new moon and the Venus and Saturn conjunction in Aquarius are just these tips to be looking out for. You might expect an ending or separation of some kind, especially as it relates to finances or money, because Saturn could come in and create those limits, and Venus would give us the areas where it might occur. You may also experience potential new creative or artistic starts around endeavors that you've been working on to bring to their pinnacle, and they finally reach peak form and you're ready to share them with the world. Whenever Venus and Saturn get together, they help to clarify an ideal, because Venus is the aesthetic and the ideal sense of beauty, love, sensuality, any of those things. Saturn comes in to clarify anything, create structure, and make sure it can be disseminated succinctly and effectively to the largest group of people. So clarifying a Venus-related ideal, something about your aesthetic, something about beauty, something about the way that you connect. Again, checking your own birth chart to see where Venus and Saturn are will give you language around potentially what gets clarified over these next couple of days. And last but not least, you may reach a point of no return with something related to creativity, love, or money. Really, like, if I keep going with this, it's going to be no bueno. That point of no return is a let go or get dragged moment. Please let go. and let the universe. There is no lack in the mind of the universe. There is no need to hold on. If you're holding on for dear life, you cannot catch your blessing. And finally, you could also experience greater freedom in Venus-ruled things. And again, we know that Venus-ruled things are money, sensuality, attraction, relationships. But you will get a clearer, again, picture of that by looking at where Venus is in your chart. I am a Venus in Scorpio in my 6th house person. So Venusian topics for me are depth psychology, dreams, aesthetics that tend to be dark. I do like a little goth every once in a while. But those pieces and those areas might be impacted. And then, of course, my 6th house is related to work and service and day-to-day activities. My Saturn is in Virgo, which is my 4th house. And so for me, themes related to Virgo and Scorpio and the 4th and 6th house will be activated by this existing conjunction of these 2 planets in Aquarius. I'll have the general idea of them by looking at what's happening with those 2 planets in Aquarius, and I will have the subtitle and the subtext and more of the plot twist by looking at my birth chart. Last but not least, I want to talk about the Lunar New Year, 2023. We are ending the year of the water tiger, which is the 3rd sign of the Chinese zodiac, and we are moving into the sign of the rabbit, and again, continuing with the element of water. In Chinese astrology, the element repeats twice for each year. However, the zodiacal signs move every year. And notice, Chinese and other Asian forms of astrology are more lunar based, because this new year and their astrological underpinnings are following this lunar cycle, not a solar cycle. One thing to note, of course, we're in yet another water element, and so water across any of the astrological disciplines usually indicates emotion, spirituality, being in a state of flow. That has not changed. What is shifting is that we are moving in from the more aggressive and dynamic energy of the tiger into the more sensitive and even more emotional signs of the rabbit. Rabbit people don't like busy, don't like aggressiveness. They enjoy being private, having their own home world set up. They've got a beautiful eye for nesting. They're caretakers. They can be prolific in their fertility. They are good politicians, ambassadors, and diplomats. When you think rabbit, think about what you knew about Cancerian people in Western astrology. There's quite a lot of similarities, and they are both the 4th sign in the cycle. That means that the tone of this year will probably have a more gentle, psychic, and undulating kind of feel, because water flows in waves. As we take that into consideration, laying that over the Aquarius New Moon, this helps to give us an idea of what we really are starting 2023 off with, and gives us an opportunity to really think about what we would like to do to make best use of this energy to support our manifestations over the next 12 to 13 months. I hope that some of what I have provided you here has resonated. If it has, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And of course, it would be my honor to help you in embracing lunar living, lunar self-care, and lunar manifestations for 2023. To start off, I want to remind you of the Lunar Wisdom Formula and my favorite, the Lunar Wisdom Formula for self-care, beauty and self-care. Now that we've hit a new moon, it's the yang or masculine cycle or portion of the lunar cycle, the first 2 weeks. While I have been ushering people into resting and resetting from the full moon back to the new moon. When the new moon gets started, that's why we needed all of that rest, so we could hit it hard and set our intention and allow that to grow with the light of the full moon. You may not be as inclined to do aspects of self-care during this particular period of time because the energy is growing. You will be more single-minded and more focused on providing and creating versus resting and nourishing within your body. This is kind of how you apply the Lunar Wisdom Formula. And my 2 books, which are digital and available for immediate purchase, can help you start this Lunar New Year and continue following the cycles to bring yourself the best results you've ever experienced when it comes to manifestation. Most of the time, we have difficulties because we're trying to call things in without checking the weather report. We don't go outside when it's raining and don't carry an umbrella. So it's equally as important to check the weather report when we want to set up our goals, because self-care isn't selfish, and all of this is necessary for our highest good. In order to apply the Lunar Wisdom Formula in the best way possible, you need a copy of your birth chart. Head over to 8thHouseWisdom.com and get a free copy of your birth chart today so that you can identify where all of the major players are in your unique map of the sky and really put this information to best use. Also, I'm a big fan of crystals, so make sure you check out the link below and use my coupon code 8thHouseWisdom to get 11% off of these high quality, ethically sourced crystals, which can help ground and or magnify your intentions and clear up your energy as an assist throughout the year. And if you want to learn more about the Lunar Wisdom Formula and my process of stellar planning, especially for the energies of 2023, then look at the link in the description below to check out my video, Stellar Planning for 2023. That's going to give you a clear understanding of the multiple steps that are involved in really understanding where we're at in the natural cycles and applying them to your plans for your best and highest good. Another thing that will support you in doing that is a free copy of my 2023 Stellar Year Blueprint, and that is available all year long. It will give you the basics of the Stellar Year Blueprint program to apply and help you to understand the pieces of the energetic container that most calendars leave out. And of course, if you would like greater support, you can try out my course, the 2023 Stellar Year Blueprint with Free and Clear in the Desire Map. That is a self-paced course set up with video and a workbook and other guided processes and bonuses that will help you really dig in to this official start of 2023 as far as I'm concerned, and get in and use that energy to the best of your ability so that you can triple your blessings this year and live your best life yet. Thank you so much for hanging in here with me, wise ones. Sending you so much light and love. Remember, life does come with an instruction manual. It is written in the stars. Until my next video, take care.